Hi everyone. So, welcome to the first installation of Read with Miss Kurre. I'm going to start page 68. So that's this one, 68. Those first two pages are really just the servants chattering about the party. Capulet, so that's Juliet's dad, talking about how great the party is and how he wants everyone dancing and having a good time. And you are going to find where it says line 40, and that's where Romeo starts talking. Romeo says, "What lady's that with Dotch and Rith the hand of yonder knight?" So, who do you think he's talking about right here? Who do you think he's seeing at this party? Juliet. So he first sees Juliet and he's totally like, whoa, who is that? And then he gives us this speech. "Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady over her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night." So that's his reaction when he first sees Juliet, to give this whole little speech about how pretty she is. So let's go through some of these lines now. He says, "Oh, she doth teaches the torches to burn bright." She's teaching the torches to do something. She's teaching the torches how to burn brightly. He's saying right here that she's more beautiful than the torches. She's brighter than the torches look. His next two lines, "It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night, as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear." So he's comparing the knight to a person. And he's saying if the knight were a person, Juliet would be the earring on that person, because she's so beautiful and she just stands out so pretty. Line 45, pretty self-explanatory. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So she's too beautiful to be of this earth. She's like an angel. So shows a snowy dove trooping with her crows, as yonder lady over her fellows shows. So it says a snowy dove trooping with the crows. He's calling her a beautiful white dove compared to all of the other crows that are flying around. So she's as beautiful as a dove. All the other girls, they look like crows to him. That measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. So he says that his hand is rude, and if he gets to touch her, he's going to be blessed. That's how he's looking at her. She can put a blessing on him. Then the final lines, "Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night." So he's saying he's never seen anyone this beautiful before, he's never been in love before, and he knows real love now that he's seeing Juliet. But wait! Remember, why did he come to this party? Oh yes, to see the beautiful Rosaline, who he was so in love with, and now he sees Juliet and he's like, "Rosaline who? I don't care about her anymore." So that's where Romeo is. He's totally head over heels for Juliet. He's just caught one little sight of her. So, as Romeo is in awe of Juliet and he's talking about how pretty she is, Tybalt overhears him. And let's take a moment and reflect upon the kind of character that Tybalt is. Tybalt is an angry guy. Tybalt likes to fight. Tybalt's ready to throw hands. Remember, his first lines in the book are, "Have at thee, coward, turn and face thy death." So when he hears Romeo speaking, he doesn't really have the best reaction. So he goes, "This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy." That's a sword. So he's literally hearing Romeo talking. He's like, "I want my sword. I want to start a fight. Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin." Reflect on those lines. To strike him dead, I hold it not a sin. So what does he not hold to be a sin? striking Romeo dead. So he thinks it's okay to fight with Romeo. Now, Juliet's dad overhears this, and he hears Tybalt going off, and he says, "Why, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?" So he's like, "Why are you so angry, Tybalt? What's the matter with you?" And Tybalt says, "Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite, to scorn at our solemnity this night." Flip the page. Juliet's dad says, "Young Romeo, is it?" Tybalt, "'Tis he, that villain Romeo." And Capulet's response is, "Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. A bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him, to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not, for the wealth of all this town, here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, share a fair presence, and put off these frowns, and ill-meseeming semblance for a feast." So let's think about Capulet's reaction here. His first lines are "content thee." So think about how you feel when you're content. You're happy. You're not upset. You're not worried. So he's saying, "Content thee, be at peace, gentle coz." So, cousin, be at peace, let him alone. Leave him be. And then he goes off to say that Verona brags of him, and he's virtuous and well-governed. So everything Lord Capulet has heard about Romeo has been good things. So he's not minding that Romeo's at his party. He's like, he's a good guy. Whatever. Let him be there. And then he says, "I will not for all the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement." Disparagement means harm, go against something. So not for all of the money in the world is he going to go against Romeo in his own house. Because it would look really bad if someone came to his house for a party and then he killed him. Like, that doesn't work. It makes you look like a bad house guest, okay? Tybalt does not like that Capulet is okay with Romeo being there. And he says, "It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him." Lord Capulet says, "Show a fair presence and put off these frowns, an ill-beseeming semblance for a feast." So, show a fair presence. A fair means happy, happy face. And put off these frowns, so put them away. Take off your angry face. It doesn't look good to be angry at a party. And Tybalt's response is, "It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him." And Capulet says some of my favorite lines from this play. "He shall be endured. What, good man, boy, I say he shall. Go to, am I the master here, or you? Go to, you'll not endure him? God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set a cock-a-hoop, you'll be the man." Tybalt says, "Why, uncle, 'tis a shame." And Capulet, go to. You are a saucy boy. Isn't it so?" So basically, Tybalt wants to fight. Capulet says, "You're not fighting at my party. Stop it." And Tybalt gets mad and kind of walks off. However, he does leave us with these final lines. "I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall." This, ladies and gentlemen, is foreshadowing. And he says, even though I'll leave and I'll be happy right now and not attack Romeo, one day I will attack him. So that's what's going on here. So while Capulet and Tybalt are going off on their whole argument about whether or not they should kick Romeo out of the party, Romeo has made his way over to Juliet, and now they're having a conversation. And this is probably one of the most famous sections of the entire play. This is known as the Pilgrim's Speech. Because in this speech, Romeo is talking about his hands and how he wants to touch Juliet's hands, and he refers to them as pilgrims. And then he kind of wants to kiss her, and he refers to pilgrims being their lips touching the way that hands touch. So that's what's going on here. Because really, he thinks she's really pretty, and he really just wants to kiss her. That's what's going on. He says, if I profane with my unworthiest hands this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand, to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. So he's saying, my hands are terrible, my lips are terrible, but if I can touch you, everything will be okay in the world. And Juliet's response to all this is, good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. So she's like, well, we can touch hands. That's okay. And Romeo is a little bit persistent and says, have not saints lips and holy palmers too? Juliet, aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. So she's like, we're going to pray. That's what lips are used for. They're not used for kissing. And Romeo says, oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Juliet, saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. Romeo, then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by thine my sin is purged. They're kissing here because they're praying. Praying means kissing. So when they're praying with their hands, but praying with their lips, that means they're kissing. Juliet says, then have my lips the sin that ye have took? Romeo, sin from my lips? O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again. So what they're saying here is he's sinful and not good, and she's perfect and angelic. So when they kiss, he transfers his sins to her, and then she kisses him back and gives his sins back to him. And then she says, you kiss by the book, which basically is her just telling him, you're a great kisser. And all of a sudden, the nurse shows up. Madam, your mother craves a word with you. What is her mother? Says Romeo. The nurse. Marry, bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks. Romeo, is she a Capulet? Oh, dear Count, my life is my foe's debt. So now he realizes, oh wait, she's a Capulet. I'm head over heels in love with her. This might be a problem. So they decide to leave the party, go down, Juliet's talking. Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman? And the nurse pretends not to know who she's talking about. She says, this is this person, this is that person, this is that person. And then finally at the bottom, the nurse says, his name is Romeo and de Montague, the only son of your great enemy. And Juliet utters the lines, my only love sprung from my only hate. Too early, seen unknown, and known too late. And that's basically where we're going to be end our reading for Act 1, Scene 5. So those last lines where it says, my only love sprung from my only hate, who's the only people or the only family that Juliet is supposed to hate? The Montagues. And who's the only person that she loves? A Montague. So she's saying the only person that she loves comes from the only people that she hates. So we have that duality of love and hate again. And then she says, too early, seen unknown, and known too late. She did not know he was a Montague when she first saw him, and now it's too late for her to decide not to love him. And that's kind of Act 1, Scene 5. Romeo shows up at the party. Tybalt doesn't like him being there. Capulet doesn't like that Tybalt is angry. Romeo meets Juliet. He talks her into kissing him. They kiss. They fall in love. She realizes he's a Montague. He realizes she's a Capulet. And, oh no, what happens next? If you have any questions, please reach out via Google Classroom or send me an email. I am here to help. I hope this video helped you. I'll see you next time on Read with Miss Kurre.